In our Academy Award winning video about the Pidgey line, we made a comment about how also does not provide any exciting moments for the player, like, learning drill peck or slash or being Farfetch'd. Gosh darn it. Now I have to deliver on my promise to talk about Farfetch'd, preferably for more than 10 minutes straight to optimize for YouTube. Oh, screw this job. Well, I guess, how did Farfetch'd perform in the Gen 1 games? Let's see. Let's just do this. The Fetch'd is definitely a flying Pokemon that existed in the Gen 1 games. The very original Japanese name of this thing is Kamonegi, which means duck with onions. Apparently, it is a reference to a Japanese proverb about how a duck coming to you carrying green onions is an analogy to something being strangely convenient. I don't know, dude. I don't speak Japanese. Some anime expert in the comments is gonna explain that way better than I can. Anyhow, the Fetch'd is literally a meme Pokemon, though a very funny one, which makes very sad the fact that you do not get to give it a goofy name, since it only comes from an in-game trade with the rather bland name of Ducks. Farfetch'd statistically is basically a slightly different Pidgeotto, and comes with a pretty bad starting moveset. However, it gets an edge by learning TM Body Slam, though that comes at a cost of not teaching your 1 TM Body Slam to anything else. Body Slam Fetch deals quite good damage for this point in the game, as most Pokemon are around its base stats and tend to have lesser moves. The third rival fight will be massively dented and can even be a Farfetch'd solo fight depending on level and RNG. Farfetch'd will also get the convenient advantage of leveling up faster, as it is a traded Pokemon, as well as being the only flying type to learn HM Cut for its team. Oh, and also, it gets level 23 Sword Stance, which may not make it as good as Dodrio, but still pretty hype. Lieutenant Surge will be the first not exactly great spot for Farfetch'd, as though it will be doing great damage, will be outsped and hit very hard, which makes it lose to Raichu 100% of the time. Save Raichu using a bad move twice, or Raichu doing that once and Farfetch'd getting a crit, which would be a hilarious way for beating Surge. But at this point, if you're using freaking Farfetch'd, you're doing that for the memes anyway. In Rock Tunnel, Body Slam will prove to be a decent weapon as long as the hikers are left alone, because we all know that if you slam a rock too hard, you're liable for it to explode on you all of a sudden, like in real life. Yeah, no. Farfetch'd continues to be more or less decent until Celadon, where it gets HM Fly, which is not only great for fast traveling, but also makes it better on Erica. That being said, Farfetch'd will lose to Victory Bell, thanks to it having the ultimate Gen 1 weapon, Fast Rap. MC Victory Bell will, however, be the only Pokemon that can defeat the Farfetch'd, as Tangela and even the Ace Vileplume will fold to Farfetch'd's combination of Stab Fly and not that bad Special Bulk. The Rocket Hideout is like a rock tunnel without the hikers for the Farfetch'd, as it can deal with most opponents, though not being super overwhelming. Like, chill. This is still a Farfetch'd, like what did you expect? Giovanni will unfortunately bring some of that old hiker sting with his rock types, though Farfetch'd can try and brawl with Kangaskhan and win most of the time depending on the levels. Pokemon Tower gives decent opportunities to the Fetch, as Stab Fly hits the physically frail ghost types quite hard, making the Farfetch'd go a long way in clearing the area. Even Marowak will fold easily to the Farfetch'd, as the same level thanks to ground immunity on the stick carrying hero. Upon getting the flute, Fetch will beeline towards Koga's bulky squad for its next challenge, but around that point in the game, Farfetch'd gets to level 39, which despite being still 30 whole levels away from being very nice, gives the Fetch its best weapon so far to cope with its mediocre attack stat. Stab Slash. In Gen 1, Slash is a 70 base power move that, given Farfetch'd base speed, has a 99.6% chance of getting a crit, making it effectively a base 140 base power stab move without a drawback. Forget about Gigaton Hammer. This guy has the Gigaton Stick. And as it turns out, that matters quite a bit. At level 44, Fetch can 2-0-ko anything Koga has to offer, except for Wheezing, and thus has a good chance of beating everything until it gets boomed on, which is quite insane. I mean, Fetch will 2-0-ko the hopes and dreams of everything that does not resist normal or has decently respectable physical bulk, you know, like all of the 5th Rivals Pokemon team, just as an example. Now granted, Fetch will not sweep the fight or anything as it has Tangela's speed on Pidgeotto's bulk, though it definitely can get a kill or two, no problem. Oh, and depending on level, you have a good chance of OHKOing Alakazam, which sure, matters for the rival, but also for Sabrina. So depending on what the AI does, you get anywhere between 1 and 4 kills on that fight, with 2 OHKOs and 1 OHKO slashes. And guess what? The same applies to Blaine. It's absolutely bonkers how a single broken Gen 1 move can make this stupid joke bird usable. This is a very hype and weirdly convenient combination, or as the Japanese would say, Kamonegi. On Giovanni, Fetch is not the best Pokemon ever, but it can take care of the Dugtrio and spam Slash against the Nido twins until it faints, after doing a decent dent on the final gym's team. Rival Team 6 is quite similar to Rival Team 5, as long as Fetch does not try to beat the Rhyhorn, which it may do through sheer power, but at the cost of so much HP that's better used elsewhere. In the E4, Fetch can beat Lorelei's Dugong, but not only does ice cause a lot of problems to it, Lorelei's squad is very bulky, which helps it stop the slashing bird quite easily. Bruno's fighting types are actually more of a threat to Fetch than it may have seemed, as Fly does not have the near guaranteed crit factor, so crucial to Slash being a good move and Fetch being easily OHKO'd is quite literally anything. Hitmonchan, however, remains an easy target, and Hitmonlee could also be beaten 1v1 with some luck. The same story goes for Agatha, which has a hilarious random AI, but still does not allow Fetch to shine that bright, thanks to normal immunity on her ghost types. Fetch can take advantage on both non-ghost types, however, and beat both of them. Farfetch'd's performance on Lance is quite dependent on the AI cooperating, but you can realistically expect 1 kill or 2, especially if you send it against the Dragonairs, as opposed to the much more threatening lead Gyarados. The League's gauntlet ends with the champ, which is the same as the previous rival fights, but with more bulky Pokemon, which makes Farfetch'd less bulky, though it can still get 1 or 2 kills in realistically. In yellow, Farfetch'd's one-dimensionality makes it that the entire game gets a bit harder, as every squad gets slightly improved. Some of the more important examples are Giovanni, now that will stop Farfetch'd easily, and may not allow it to get any kills. Lance, which does the same, and the rival that has an electric type to beat it. Overall, Farfetch'd may be the most ridiculously underrated Pokemon in Gen 1. And all that thanks to one stupid broken Gen 1 move, which is as hilarious and hype of a fate as Farfetch'd deserved. And though we still stand by the claim that Dodrio is part of the best Gen 1 team to use that does not have legendaries, Farfetch'd is definitely the most funny to use and maybe objectively better than Pidgeot. So we recommend you try it. But what do you think? What do you think of Gen 1 Farfetch'd? Were you surprised by how it managed to do very well in those games? I mean, we definitely were. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Check these videos out while you're at it. And on that note, have a nice one.